Regular City Council meeting, City of Tomball, Texas to order. We would like you to join the council in our opening ceremonies, led by our invocation will be done by Pastor Kevin Bowles with Redeemer Church. And our pledges to the federal and the state flag will be led by AOL Group 346.
All right, well, join with me as we pray. Lord, we come to you tonight and we thank you, Father, for the many ways that you have been so gracious to our city and to our nation. Father, we thank you for the leaders that you have given to lead the city of Tomball. We thank you for Mayor Quinn. We thank you for the city council members. And Father, we thank you for so many leaders and those who give their time and volunteer their efforts and give their energy to run businesses. Father, you have blessed so many. But Father, we come to you tonight and we acknowledge that there is nothing that we accomplish. There is nothing good that comes apart from your kind hand in our life. And so, God, we thank you for your graciousness to us. We thank you that you give hope through Jesus. You give hope to all who would call upon you. So, God, we ask that you would give this city council your wisdom as they lead. Father, that you would give each of us a desire to seek the benefit of the city, as the scriptures say, God, to seek the welfare of the city that you've placed us in. God, it is your kindness that has given us this place to live. So, Father, we ask that in all of the proceedings tonight and for all of the road that is ahead, God, that you would bless Tomball and that you would bless each of us as we seek to know you and to honor you. We pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, let's turn. I want to turn around and face the flag. And who will be starting?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag?
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much.
Very well done, gentlemen.
We'll go on down and don't forget before you leave today to pick up your goodie bag. Thank you.
Oh, you did good.
It is always such a pleasure to meet with the Boy Scouts. And they have been asking a lot of questions for an hour. Good. Thank you. It's great. Those are our future leaders. Okay. Now next item on the agenda is public comments. At this time, anyone will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council board discussion or action may take place on a matter till such matter has been placed on the agenda and posted in accordance with law. Doris, do we have anyone signed up today?
I have three.
Three, okay.
Bruce Hillegeist.
Please state your name and address.
Well, good evening, Your Honorable Mayor Lori Quinn and City Council members. My name is Bruce Hillegeist, and I reside at 15300 Cutton Road, apartment number 2129, Houston 77070. The comments that I'm making tonight are in regards to agenda items I, 1, and 2. And on behalf of the 850 Tomball Chamber member partners, the Chamber's Board of Directors and staff, I encourage your approval of the resolution in support of the 56th Annual Tomball Holiday Parade. It's going to be called the Cowboy Christmas this year at 10 a.m. on November the 19th. That's a Saturday. Big benefits are certain to happen for Tomball. The earliest reference to a parade was found in cave paintings back over 10,000 years ago. Experts speculate that the most primitive parade events consisted of prehistoric men triumphantly carrying the game they killed during a hunt back to their camp, but we're not going to do that. In the U.S., we look for almost any excuse to hold a parade. Common times for the U.S. for parades are at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the Macy's Christmas parade began in 1924. The Rose Bowl parade, interestingly enough, is held each January the 1st, but it was the brainchild of a local realtor in Pasadena, California, to show off his community during a real estate slump in California. Tomball's first Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's parade all rolled up into one, debuted in 1965 along Main Street, presented by the Chamber. Besides offering a dose of nostalgia, recognition, and old-fashioned fun, parades offer a host of economic and social benefits to cities and communities. One such benefit is tourism. Tourism has the opportunity to bring people together and foster a sense of community and hometown pride, as well as teach new things and strengthen relationships. People bring their connections and collective knowledge and skills together to improve the community and the city of Tomball. Parades attract visitors, which stimulates the growth of tourism and other businesses in a town or region. Visitors spend money, which boosts the local economy and off Main Street. Visitors stop at local gas stations, retail shops, restaurants, and the list goes on. And parade visitors return to Tomball. Hopefully, they will be visiting Tomball as a habit, or better yet, live and work here. Visitors provide free marketing and advertising for local businesses as visitors talk about their experiences when they go back home, posting comments and photos about their good time on Facebook and other social media. A parade enhances a community's reputation. So economic benefits ripple throughout a local economy, affecting tourism and non-tourism related businesses alike. So thank you so much for your consideration of approving the resolution with agenda item I-1, allowing the Chamber to present its 56th annual Tomball Holiday Parade. I've also got, talking about I-2, requesting your approval of applications for grants from fiscal year 2021 and 2022 hotel occupancy tax for $35,000. The Chamber uses that money and has for years. We thank you for that all over the many years. Events such as Tomball Night, Parade of Lights, Holiday Parade, and Miss Tomball Pageant. The Chamber is the official visitor center of Tomball. And the Chamber works alongside Sasha Smith, marketing for the city to promote the city's hotel industry together holding together quarterly hotel motel meetings that are held for the sharing of detailed information about upcoming events and listening to hoteliers as to their needs. The Chamber produces annually its community and business guide and a detailed map of Tomball and the region every 36 months, pointing out important historic sites and other sought after information. The Chamber's website is 24/7 and provides resources regarding Tomball and its hotels, motels, and a variety of local businesses. The Chamber staff is diligent in its efforts to be resourceful, prudent, and efficient as it provides benefits to Tomball's hospitality sector through the use of the hotel occupancy tax funds. So thank you for your consideration on that item as well. Thank you.
Lisa Covington.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Lisa Covington. I live at 31202 Antonia Lane in Tomball, 77375. So I'm not here announcing a parade, but I am here to ask for and to express to you my desire to be appointed and to serve on a board or commission for the city of Tomball. I believe that my background and beliefs and morals have prepared me to begin my service for the city of Tomball. My parents and I moved here when I was 6 in 1979, can do the math, but that was a long time ago. I went to Tomball Lutheran School. I went to Beckendorf Junior High and graduated from Tomball High School. I went to Baylor University where I received earned an, am I too loud?
No, that was a second.
Oh, the SICM, you did do the SICM, very good.
We have to give her more time now.
It's testing my reactions. Yes, so I graduated with an undergraduate in accounting and a master's in tax. I've been a tax professional for 25 years. I've traveled the world, done some wonderful and exciting things, but through it all, Tomball has always been home. Tomball will always be my home. I lived in the school district, but not the city limits. Beginning in 2005, but in 2018, I moved here and have made Tomball my permanent home, and I want to serve. And after a lot of prayer and consideration and thought, I feel that now is the right time in my life and hopefully the city. I've outlined in the application in order of preference, the board or commission in which I feel I might be the best asset. However, I'm really going to leave it up to the council and the mayor if I'm chosen to decide where I might fit the best. If I am appointed, I commit to being present. I commit to being prepared, here, unbiased, honest, and trustworthy. So thank you very much.
Sherry Miker.
I don't think I've ever spoken in 3 minutes. So you tell me, and I've been talking all day today, so I don't know if I can do this in 3 minutes. I've been practicing. So I'll do the best I can. So good evening, Mayor, Council, city staff, and all the guests here this evening. And it's such a thrill to see all those Boy Scouts. I just love Boy Scouts. But my name is Sherry Miker. I live at 222 Southmore Street, Tomball, Texas, 77375. I've lived in Tomball almost 40 years. Raised my daughter here. I have a history of service from education to, well, my last career, recent career, current career is working for the U.S. House of Representatives. And I have a history also in working on boards in service in that manner and with a specialty in nonprofits. I have worked with healthcare in my current career, Health and Human Services. I was also on the Tomball Regional Medical Center when it was that name before the current name for 10 years serving on that board. So I am interested in the field of, I've done a lot of fundraising, some foundation work and working with healthcare and continue to serve Tomball in some manner. I'm only applying for the one board, the Tomball Regional Health Foundation. And interestingly enough, about half of that board, I served with them many years ago when I was at the Tomball Regional Medical Center. So I have a history in that type of work and service. I want to continue to serve Tomball, and I hope that you will consider me to be your appointee. I have submitted my application, both the old one and the new one. So I hope that I will be selected, and whatever your wisdom is on that, I've prayed about it myself, because people that know me, and a lot of you do, and people in the community, I have known for being diligent, hardworking, someone that will serve and be reliable and that you can depend on, and that will serve with character and integrity. Thank you for your time. I think I may have gone over.
Nope, you're okay.
Thank all our first responders.
I have no one else signed up. Okay.
Is there anyone else who is here who is not signed up that would like to come up and speak for 3 minutes? Yes.
Good afternoon, or it's evening already, sorry. My name's Ellen. I'm currently an alternate on the BOA right now. I'm not prepared for this because I just got back from out of town and other things. But that's a little bit of my background. I come from a family that's highly involved in everything that we do. My dad has been involved with the police force and Bridgestone Mud and other things for, I don't know,
Did you
40
tell us
years.
your address?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't
It's
know your address.
206-1 Moore Street.
Okay,
And my name's Ellen Warren.
okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Most of us know that, but
Yeah, sorry about that. But currently, I'll backtrack from that. We own a construction company here locally in Tomball. More to come with other businesses as well. I am in sales at ASI Gymnastics. Kind of do quite a bit, but I spoke to a few people on the golf cart club and other clubs that I want to be involved more. I know I'm young and I have a lot to learn and a lot to offer. I come from a family that comes from a lot of charities, always involved, and just would like the correct guidance and where the help is needed. I have to turn in my report soon. It'll be turned in maybe by Thursday. I'm sorry. But that with the correct guidance or wherever you guys need me, I would love to be. I do love learning from the BOA and the people that are currently in there right now. I'm learning a lot. And I have a lot to learn, but that I would like to help with more nonprofit items for the city of Tomball. And I don't know what else to say right now. I'm so sorry. But anyways, thank you so much for your time. And my name is Ellen Warren.
Thank you. Oh, all right. Please come forward and your name and your address.
Good evening to all, Mayor and the rest of the council and everyone in this room. My name is Joe Kilizapa. I reside at 702 Hicks Street, one of the new homes that was built here 2 years ago. And I moved to Texas 28 years ago, served in the military, just retired 2 years ago from United Airlines. I was in charge of all Latin America and the Caribbean, in charge of aircraft maintenance. The reason I'm here is I'd like to be considered for one of the vacated positions that you currently have in the Planning and Zoning Division. I'm a hard worker, and I'll be on time and do my work. And again, the name is Joe Kilizapa. That's it. Thank you.
Joe, do you mind spelling your name, please?
Quilizapa, pronounced
sir.
Kilizapa.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Just as a reminder, we are requesting all his applications from applicants.
Yes. Yes.
I hadn't planned on it, so an impromptu. My name's Scott Moore. I live on 404 South Pine Street. I own 2 restaurants here in town, Tejas Chocolate Barbecue and Tejas Burger Joint. The barbecue restaurant will be 7 years old next month. We're ready for that. And we're very proud, and we're certainly proud to be a part of Tomball in the community. And while we've gotten some national and state recognition, the most satisfaction to us, all of us that work there, comes from when members of our community come in for lunch and just hang out. And we see that often. So that's gives us a great deal of satisfaction. I personally have been in the Houston area since 1976, got here as quick as I could. I was born in Dallas. I don't normally say that in public, but it's true. And then graduate of Klein High School, the Klein, class of 82. And I also am going to be applying for the openings in the committees, and would appreciate your consideration for that. I'm proud to be able to serve, and I'm available, and I'm within walking distance, so I'll be here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay.
Mayor, before you go forward, are all these people aware of the new policies and procedure on filling out applications?
Yes, I'm sure they are. They haven't, they will be, I guess, because thank you so much for coming in and speaking, but council has redone the board application book and boards and councils handbook and the application. There are several certifications that you need to sign, and everyone who is interested on boards needs to fill that out and get it to Doris Spear by Friday. Everyone who is an incumbent on the boards also needs to fill it out and get that to Doris by Friday to show your interest in staying on the boards.
Even if you filled out an old application, you need to fill out a new application.
Right, that has to be done.
Reminder emails did go out this morning with the application forms and the handbook for the page that needs to be signed and returned.
And everyone who spoke today did that. Y'all have signed up. Did you get that email? Okay, great. So thank you. Those decisions will be made in an executive session on October 2nd. Third, okay, not Sunday, Monday, before council. So it's important to get the information back to Doris so it can be disseminated to council for the executive session. But thank you. Okay, next item is presentations. We have 2 proclamations. One is October 2nd through October 8th is 22 Tomball Fire Prevention Week. So we're representations coming, people who are representing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all guys.
This is a Office of the Mayor proclamation. Whereas in a fire, you're second in the difference between the safe escape and attack. And fire safety education isn't just a schedule. Teenagers, adults, and the elderly are also at risk of fires, making it important for every member of the community to take some time every October during Fire Prevention Week to make sure they understand how to stay safe in case of a fire. 1922, the National Fire Protection Association has sponsored the public observance of Fire Prevention Week. And in 1925, President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed Fire Prevention Week a national observance, making it the longest running public health observance in the country. During Fire Prevention Week, children and adults and teachers learn how to stay safe in case of a fire, and firefighters provide life-saving public education in an effort to drastically decrease casualties caused by fires. And Fire Prevention Week is observed each year during the week of October 9th in commemoration of the Great Chicago Fire, which began on October 8, 1871, causing devastating damage. This horrific conflagration killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed more than 17,400 structures, and burned more than 2,000 acres of land. 2022's Fire Prevention Week campaign, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, is dedicated to educating everyone about planning their exit routes in the event of a fire. Knowing what to do when an alarm sounds will keep you and your family safe. And today's homes burn faster than ever. You may have as little as 2 minutes or even less time to safely escape a home fire from the time the smoke alarm sounds. Your ability to get out of the home during a fire depends on early warning from smoke alarms and advanced planning. And Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape means that when an alarm sounds, a beeping sound, a chirping sound, or a flashing strobe light, you must take action and exit your home as quickly as possible. Whereas the City of Tomball and the Tomball Fire Department fully support Fire Prevention Week to keep our citizens safe. Now therefore, I, Lori Klein Flynn, Mayor of the City of Tomball, on behalf of the Tomball City Council and all the citizens hereof, do hereby proclaim the week of October 9th to October 15th as 2022 Tomball Fire Prevention Week. Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you, sir, for what y'all do.
Thank you, sir.
Need to scare you.
No, it's fine.
Mind just kidding.
Next proclamation is for community planning. So,
To get it done.
It takes them longer, there's only two of them.
We're missing one important person, the last person of our group. Fortunately, she's Kim Shannon.
This is a proclamation to honor Community Planning Month and for what y'all do. Thank you. Whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. And community planning in collaboration with agencies can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work and live. And community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. And the full benefits of planning requires public officials, citizens, and the commercial community to understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And the month of October is designed as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories. And the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of planning commissions and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the city of Tomball. And we recognize the many valuable contributions made by the professional community and regional planners of the city of Tomball. And our regional partners extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now therefore, I, Lori Klein Quinn, Mayor of the City of Tomball, Texas, on behalf of the Tomball City Council and all citizens thereof, do hereby proclaim the month of October 22 as Community Planning Month in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month. Thank you.
He's still working. Throwing together. My troublemaker. Thank you.
Do they know about the 2-week vacation?
No, canceled.
No.
It's been canceled.
I've been canceled. Nathan didn't hear that.
Yeah. So
No, it didn't.
that's wrong.
Reports and announcements. There's a lot going on in Tomball. October 4th, 2022 is the 12th Annual Economic Outlook Luncheon, sponsored by the TEDC at Beckendorf Center from 9 to 1. Also on October 4th is National Night Out at the Depot. October 8th is Spectacular, second Saturday at the Depot. October 10th, Tomball Police and Fire Pinning Ceremony and Class A Uniform Inspection at Lone Star College Beckendorf from 9 to 12. October 15th is the Big Show hosted by Tomball Rotary at the Depot. October 22nd is the Bluegrass and Fall Festival at the Depot from 11 to 6. And now we have reports by city staff members and members of the council about items of community interest in which no action will be taken. Sasha.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm honored to be here to present to you some of the pictures from the 9/11 ceremonies that took place on September 10th and 11th. It was a successful two-day event and involved our first responders in the community, and I think it should work. Yes. The City of Tomball held a wreath-laying ceremony on September 10th, and we also lit 2 spotlights in honor of the Twin Towers on the night of September 10th, which was followed by the ceremony the next morning, but the lights have been lit in Tomball 2 nights, the night of September 10th, 11th, and 12th. On Sunday morning, we held a procession from the Market Street to Tomball, from the Community Center to the historic Depot Plaza, and we lowered the flags, and it included a prayer and remarks from the mayor and Fire Chief Sikora. We're thankful for the support of the Tomball Rotary Club and the community that supported us at this event. And we're just thankful for the people who joined us to commemorate this tragic event that united our nation. And here are some of the pictures of the participants and of the ceremony. That's it. Any questions, comments? Thank you.
I attended the Board of Adjustments meeting on the 8th as the liaison between the dais and the board, and they did a very good job. I would like to ask that their documents be checked to see if public comment should not be in the beginning of their meetings such as ours, because as far as I was new and being there, public comments were not requested from the chairman of that committee. So I think we need to make sure that we do have public comment availability in all of our boards and commissions.
P&Z.
Okay, well,
It has been on the agenda in the past. I don't-
it was not on the one for the BOA. So I'll make sure that we get that taken care of.
Okay,
Other than that, nothing.
thank you. And Councilman Townsend, will you be submitting? I know that when we get the weekly report from David, can you type that up? And
I can, but their BOA secretary is supposed to be sending in those minutes of their meetings, because we only have 10 days in which to react if something occurs
okay,
that this council is not in agreement with. We have to take them to district court in order to have that changed. And so we only have 10 days. So I think that information needs to come from there. I don't have a problem doing it. I just don't want to take somebody else's thing around away from
okay.
them.
Well, David, if you can.
However y'all want me to
How
handle
you
it, it's
want
fine.
to.
I don't care. Just let me know how you want to handle it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. The next item is I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the September 6th special joint Tomball City Council and Tomball Economic Development Corporation meeting and the September 6th, 2022 regular Tomball City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. The next item, we are going to be moving some of the agenda items, the old business consent agenda and the new business consent agenda will be moved behind the executive session at this time. The next item is going to be the executive session where we will consult with city attorney regarding a matter which the attorney's duty requires to be disclosed in closed session. The time is,
Are you going to announce both of them? Or I'm going into executive session again? There's another one for under 551. Yes. we can do them both together.
Yes,
Okay,
both
you need
of-
to announce that.
okay. The second executive session.
So both items are on the executive session, 71
Right
and
here and right
74.
Yeah, it's the full, we have one
Did-
executive
did
session
you-
covering both items.
Did you announce the second one?
Devices. Executive session, the city council will meet in executive session as authorized by Title 5, Chapter 551 Government Code, Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.071, consultation with city attorney regarding a matter which the attorney's duty requires to be discussed in closed session. And section 551.0676, deliberation regarding security devices or security audits. So we will now be going into executive session at 6:39 p.m. Executive session, and then we'll continue on with the consent agendas. 7:30. And our next item is going to be old business consent agenda. I understand that Councilman Stoll, you would like to pull item number 3 from the old business consent agenda. So we will be pulling item number 3, and we will discussing that after the old business consent agenda adoption. So, here we go. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine, will be enacted on by one motion. There is no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, the item in question will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Information concerning a consent agenda item is available for public review, which is adopt on second reading ordinance number 2022-22 and adopt on second reading ordinance number 2022-29. Do I need to read those or is that sufficient? Okay. Right.
Could have done it without saying that at all.
I mean, I'm not supposed to.
Just say that.
Okay. So do I have a motion to adopt old business consent agenda?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All right. Call for the vote. Motion carries unanimously for items H1 and H2, old consent, business consent. Okay. Item number H3 is to adopt on second reading ordinance number 2022-31, approving service and assessment plan and assessment role for authorized improvements for Woodleaf Reserve Public Improvement District. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-31?
So moved. Second.
All right, discussion? Let's call for the vote. Motion carries 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay. Next item is the new business consent agenda. It's approving the resolution of City Council for services for the Cowboy Christmas, approve application for grants for hotel occupancy tax to the Chamber of Commerce of $35,000, approve request from Tomball Museum Center to receive assistance for the Antique Car Social on October 8th, approve request for Tomball High School for in-kind services for the 15th Annual Homecoming Parade and Community Rally, approve request from Tomball Sister City for city support and in-kind services for the German Christmas market. Do I have a motion to approve the new business consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Right, next item is item number 2 under new business. Approve resolution number 2022-43, resolution of the City Council of the City of Tomball for the designation of a representative and an alternate for the Houston Galveston Area Council. Doris, we do have people who would like to do this. Is that what your presentation is?
Well, council has traditionally appointed Councilman Townsend and Councilman Stahl for the last many years. So if anyone else would like to be appointed as the representative and alternate.
Yes, I actually would like to be the representative. I would ask council's indulgence to do this. I've been attending some of their meetings and I would like to be the representative. And I think Councilman Parr would like to be the alternate representative.
Motion.
Second.
Mark
Mark.
Stahl.
Sorry,
We have a
guys.
motion and second for council, Mayor Glenn Quinn and Councilman Park.
You all vote in favor.
Okay. Discussion, call for the vote. I don't know whether to thank you or not.
You'll see.
Okay.
Motion carries unanimously.
Approve applications for grants from 2020, 2023 hotel occupancy tax hot funds. Greater Tomball Area Chamber of Commerce, 35,000, Spring Creek County Historical, 35,000, Sister City Organization, 160,000, and the Houston Repertoire Ballet, 19,000. Hot funds or hotel occupancy tax for the audience. They're legal. It's not really a hot fund. It's hotel occupancy.
We are
Okay.
legal.
Yes.
Catherine Tapscott, Finance Director. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So these items were actually taken to the Tourism Advisory Committee back on July 26th. So what we did was changed up the process to where all of the hot fund grants for the year were approved by the Tourism Advisory Committee. So we're bringing them to you as one annual swoop of all of the hot fund grants. And all of these items that were listed are included in the budget that you just adopted.
Mayor and Council, you may just want to point out the Tomball Sister City application is incomplete. They did not provide an audit for this year.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the hot funds? We can discuss in discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Second it.
Okay, discussion.
You can vote on that.
Would we need to discuss the Tomball Sister City and not have an
That's
we
mo- that's
submit a
motion
motion
correct.
for the item and then this is discussion
Okay,
period for
okay.
we've had a motion and a second. And this is discussion for anything having to do with the hot fund, since it's all in one item, correct?
Does anyone have a reason why the audit was not performed by the sister city?
We did have a letter submitted in the application. Do you have that letter?
I have it on my laptop. I don't have it printed out here.
So, and we can pull up the official letter that was included, but it was. Brady, do you know what the letter stated? It said something about that the funding for the audit was not included or didn't have the funding for the audit.
I believe it mentioned that an audit could be completed if additional funding was provided by the city.
Right. They're requesting additional funding to complete the audit.
What's the understanding?
I said, do you know what the letter that was included in the application about the audit and why it was not done? Because the sister city included a letter in the application, and I just wanted the details of what that letter was about.
Yeah, well, we know we gotta do it. We need to be a little more specific about what you want us to do. We always turn our, what everything costs, after every festival, we turn it over to the city. It's got all the money we spent and what we spent it on, but if y'all will let us till April, we'll promise to have you in our next package, an audit, or would you call it an audit?
Yes.
You want a full-blown audit?
Yes.
I think that costs about $15,000 or $20,000, I've heard. Is that right there?
Yes, the chamber has an audit each year, and that is probably one of the most reasonably priced audit I've seen. And I would suggest that Sister City get with the chamber, get hold of their auditor to get financial statements to be audited and
Okay.
have that for us by next April.
Yes, ma'am.
Because yes, since the amount that you're having is over that limit, which is
100,000.
100,000. You're asking for more than 100,000, and that is any services from the hotel motel. The hot fund is that anything over 100,000, according to our ordinance, requires an audited financial statement.
Okay.
And with the like-kind services plus the cash that is asked to fund the festival, that's close to 200,000 in services. So we do need an audit because that is what we expect from anyone, and we can't make a special exception for one because we love you guys so much. So,
We want to do whatever you want to do.
is it possible to amend the motion to fund it this year, but by next April?
What we can
When
do
is the
is,
year end?
what we can do is, if the council wants to approve it, no reimbursement will happen until we have the completed application. So this does approve the application with the caveat that once the audit is done and turned in, we would do the reimbursement at that time. Because it is a reimbursement grant.
So just a question, going back to the previous hot fund approval that was on the consent, was that an audited?
It was not, sir.
So
And
what? Oh, it was, okay.
So if you
This
remember
one
last
is-
year.
This,
we talked
that
about-
was just, okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Last year, what was our budgeted allowance?
It was the same 160. But we did discuss the requirement of having the audit, and that's when we discussed that for this application year, the audit would be provided.
Well, didn't we go someplace from $80,000 to 100,000, and then we jumped up a bunch more, and we just got through hiring somebody to help Grady and the group out as an employee that we're paying?
Mr.
This
Wagner?
is, this has been on our books that this needs to be done, and it's nothing against the German Fest or anything else. It's just a matter of this dais sets out policies and procedures. And we've had this issue once before, not too terribly long ago, when somebody didn't follow it, the procedures, and we ended up having to basically eat crow. You remember that, Councilman Stoll?
Yes, I do.
If people want to do things in our community, there's a way to do it. It's policies and procedures. And it really irritates me that anyone thinks that that doesn't apply to them. And to me, we've talked about this enough times that there's policies and procedures that need to be followed. We are responsible to the taxpayers for spending their money. And if we don't do what we're saying we're going to do, folks, we're not being good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Bottom line.
Is this request for the sister city, the Chris Crandall Market, and for next March?
Yes, it's for both festivals.
Well,
This
there's
is, or is there?
80,000 each. And
Correct.
I think, I think we spend more than that. Putting each festival on. But you look at the cost of the tent, the entertainment, and, but we'll be happy to give you the audit or whatever you need.
Can we-
Me personally, I want to see the German festival keep going. I'm about 80 now, and, I work for nothing. I've always been a volunteer. And we have a lot of volunteers. We don't have but one paid individual, our general manager, Greg Wagner. But we had to have somebody. I mean, the thing that got so big, I can't do it all by myself.
Right, so it's up.
I just can't. Come on.
So
You
it's up
gotta
to,
help me.
Mr. Bogner then would be in charge of making sure that the budget, the money that you do have, you reserve enough to do an audit. Because
Yeah,
the city
I
is
talked
not
to
going
Greg. I
to
talked
pay
to
for
David.
that.
We had a meeting Tuesday.
Okay,
And so I talked with David, and Craig wasn't able to be there because he was having a little well-deserved time off. And David David came to me and said, look, gotta get this audit. So I talked with Craig about it, and we just need a little time to really understand
Can we,
how much information you want, or exactly how you want to do it, or should we just talk to a CPA and say, hey,
It's,
we
Talk-
need an audit?
talk to Bruce Hilligo's CPA.
Okay.
can we
good.
approve?
Thank you.
Can we
We
approve?
want to work with you. I mean, come on, yeah. All right. thank you.
Yes, Councilman Townsend.
Can we approve the $80,000 and hold the other $80,000 until we get an audit? Because when is that next festival supposed to be? It's in April or May, right?
Next one's in December.
Well, we have one in December for 80,000. Then when's the next one?
March.
March. So that should give them, I would think, enough time to do the audit. So I have to apply, no matter whether I like somebody or not, I have to apply the rules and regulations to everybody equally. Bottom line.
So
And I'm willing to do 80,000, but I'm not willing to do the 160, not without an audit.
can we entertain a motion then to fund the 80,000 now, but to hold off any other funds until we have received a certified audit paid for by the sister city?
Do we just amend the current
The
motion?
motion, yes.
Can we do that?
Can,
Okay, and Derek, I
so
think you,
Derek would have to,
I would like to amend my motion, but we have to vote on me
we have to
amending
vote
the
on whether or
motion.
not Derek can amend his motion.
okay, so I need a motion.
No,
No.
It's a
To
vote.
amend the
we
motion.
just need a vote on whether or not the council's gonna allow him to amend his
We
motion.
do not need a motion to amend the motion.
No.
Okay. Let's call for the vote to
What is the
amend
actual-
the motion.
Change.
You had the second, sir.
No.
But it doesn't matter in this
Let's
case.
tell him what the change.
My change is simply allowing them to have the $80,000 for the first festival, which I believe is the Christmas festival. And then allowing them the other 80,000 upon the audit, as well as any receipts that they're supposed to provide with us for the reimbursables, because I think it's a reimbursable situation. So they need to give us receipts before we actually give them the money. So 80,000, give us the receipts for that 80,000, give us the audit, and we'll give you the other 80,000, and then
Y'all don't give us the money till 6 months after the
Correct.
festival. So
correct.
it's, getting an audit done with both these festivals, one's in December, one's in March. We don't get reimbursed for December until about March, or even later sometime.
So what you're saying is just having the audit for both festivals, that you would not need the 80,000 funding right now?
That was one reason we were asking to wait till after March, so we could audit both festivals. If we audit now, well, we've had.
But what we're auditing is what has already occurred, Grady, not what's going to occur, but what's already occurred. That's what I'm saying is we need to audit what's already occurred before we put out any more money.
So how would you like to?
No, it's absolutely fine.
But this is for 22-23, isn't it?
Correct. But the audit is going to be for 2021.
We've got to decide whether or not the council's gonna let Derek amend his motion. Well, hold on, I'm confused now, because if we said 2021 was under 100,000, why are we auditing it?
No, it wasn't. They were all 160.
It was. Oh, well, so I go back to my previous question then. If we approved that without an audit on that first one, how'd we do that?
Because it was agreed upon when we did that budget year. So if you remember back, that's when the requirement was that, hey, the policy is you provide an audit. We're going to give you a year to provide the audit before this budget year gets approved. So that was the agreement that we had.
So
in
we're
approving-
there.
In approving the previous budget. That's why we recommend staff put it on the agenda for truly approval.
So we are actually delinquent in an audit for the 21 year.
Correct. Exactly. And we understood that when we did the budget.
Oh, okay.
So,
So my motion is to change it so that we catch up on audits. But I have to have y'all's approval to change my motion.
So we're doing the audit for 21, and I assume then German Fest will be in practice of doing that audit annually.
yes.
Yes. And do we want to put a due date on the receipt of the audit?
I say.
We haven't gotten there. We got to first ask if I change my motion, right? Don't we have to change the motion before we discuss
Well,
it?
right now, we still are in discussion on the first motion.
Change.
So, so that motion. But-
Approve allowing Derek to change, to amend his motion.
All right. So take a vote on the improvement of the approval to amend the motion.
Motion approved to allow Councilman Townsend to amend his motion.
Now, can you restate your amendment?
Now, my motion is this, is that we go ahead and approve $80,000 of the $160,000 they are requesting, so that they can go ahead and be planning for the Christmas market, and that they need to supply us with the audit from 2021 prior to any other funds being released, period. It'll be 2021. 2021.
2021, 2022 year.
Nope, no, 2021,
Just 2021.
period. That's
On
the
the
audit they're
calendar
behind
year?
on.
And
They're
then
on the calendar.
a friendly amendment
Yeah, well, I'll listen.
that the 2022 ought to be received by June 30th. Of the following year.
22-23 audit. Is that 2022 audit?
The 2022 ought to be by June the 20th.
Calendar year or fiscal year? Are you December 31st or some other tax year?
German festival in December?
No, what is your year end?
December
When does
31st.
when does the accounting time period end? Is it December 31st? I can't
Oh.
remember.
No, the city's is in September. I think we do the same time you do.
We can get with
We'll
Craig.
I'll have to check.
Yeah,
But I'm
well,
pretty sure it's the same fiscal year as the city.
there definitely needs to be a deadline.
So then we will
That's
leave
fine.
it up to staff to come up. Can we have that in our?
I think that was
Within 6 months of the end of their fiscal year.
Yes.
Okay, within 6 months of their end of their fiscal year, fiscal.
So y'all talking about 2021 audit?
Just get it done. Just get that one done, Grady. We'll worry
Yes.
about the other ones.
Yes, the 2021 audit is the one that you need to work on now.
Okay.
Where is Craig Wagner? He was here earlier.
And the 2022 audit will then,
Big question, why your paid guy's not.
yeah, every year we'll have to have an audit
Within 6 months of the end of their
within 6 months.
fiscal year.
So we have a motion, the amended motion to fund $80,000 in the hot funds to Sister City, and with no other funding done until an audit for 2021 is received, which is past the 6 months of the fiscal year
Recognize
end. So we would need that as soon as possible. And then, is that it?
Then the
And the
subsequent audits are received within 6 months of the end of their fiscal year.
Right. Subsequent audits are received within 6 months of the end of your fiscal year. So September of 22, then your audit is going to be due by the end of March the next year.
So
October, November, December,
By the end of March,
of next year,
2021,
2022.
2022.
2021,
You don't want us to do one of those every year?
It's gonna be,
Yes.
Yes.
it's time to move on.
yes.
but here's another thing
And
too.
then that's,
It changes nothing else that was in the original funding. I want to make that perfectly clear. The rest of the funding on the hot funds that was up here. My amendment or my change has nothing to do with the rest of it.
okay. Do we have a second on the revised amendment?
We don't need to second on the.
Okay, call for the vote.
As you vote, just the record, Mr. Bogner had another meeting at 7. That's why he couldn't be.
Well, there are priorities.
Motion as amended carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is to approve resolution 2022-41, a resolution City of Tomball approving the master fee schedule for fiscal year 2022-23. Jessica?
Right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will do my best to take you through the changes in the master fee schedule fairly quickly, but if you do have additional questions, I'm not going to cover every little change in the presentation. Go for it. Just as a reminder, what is included in the master fee schedule is up on the screen. There's everything from administrative fees down to vital statistics, utility rates and services, development permits fees, fire department fees. All of those do not have changes, so I'm going to make it very easy. Only these 4 areas have changes. So we'll go through each of these sort of at a high level. And I'm going to do my best impression of everyone, but they're all here to help me when I get it. So in terms of fire department permits inspections, the only change that is in that section is Chief Sikora added a control device installation plan review. That was a plan review that wasn't currently included in the master fee schedule. So we'd like to add that plan review. It has the same standard fee as our other plan reviews. Parks and facility rentals, we removed the banner display fees. These were for the banners that were going over $29.20. We no longer offer that. So simply removing that from our fee schedule and then adding a fee for pickleball court rentals. Previously, we just had tennis court rentals listed, but we do have a significant interest in rentals for our pickleball courts. And so that will also require an amendment to our parks rental facility policy, and that will be coming forward at a later date.
So you added a fee for the pickleball court rentals.
Yes.
How does one know whether or not there is actually a rental for the pickleball court if they're out there playing pickleball? Somebody comes up and says, I have a reservation. How do we know that is fact?
That's a great question. I'm going to defer that to our public works director because it actually does happen.
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure.
And I just want to make sure people are being.
Thank you for that question. So right now, we don't have a true formal process other than whenever they do call in for rentals and they do get a confirmation. So we're going through that process just like a lot of our other things and updating them so they're more live. So we are looking at putting those reservations online. So whenever they will get a notification saying you have a rental for tennis courts, pickleball, pavilion, in that nature. That way they have that on their phone. So if there is an issue, they can call PD and say, look, I have it right here.
That's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear.
So a little bit more detail on the development permits, inspections, and fees. So what you see there are sort of the subcategories under development permits and fees, and a generalized version of the changes. I'm kind of going to go through a few of these. In the planning fees sections, what you'll see is really adjustments based on what we found on our cost of service and market analysis. So looking at what other cities in the area are charging for a similar type of service. Same with engineering fees, looking at what is our cost to provide that, and then what is the market kind of for that service. Building permits, the same, looking at how much does it cost us to perform a building inspection service or processing a permit, and then what is the market for that. And we're always trying to strike a balance to make sure that we're really focused on cost recovery in terms of those fees. One area where we did look at something a little different is in our inspection fees, and I'll get into that, as well as our TAP fees and our impact fees. So those last three I'm going to hit a little bit more in depth. So for our inspection fees, what you see is that we, in FY 21-22, we adopted a $25 flat fee for all re-inspections. So whether it's your first re-inspection, your second re-inspection, your third re-inspection, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth re-inspection, you paid a $25 flat fee. what we've proposed going to is something that's consistent with the market, but a little bit of a change, and that is a graduated structure for our reinspection fees. About 25 to 35% of any inspections in a given month are reinspection. So that's a lot of time that our inspectors are out performing re-inspections. And our goal here would be to bring development into reading our comments and addressing those needs kind of as quickly as possible. So really adding some encouragement to our development community to get those inspections and address those inspector comments as quickly as possible. In terms of our TAP fees, these are based off of labor and materials costs. So you do see increases there. A lot of those are pass-through costs that we're paying for supplies or materials. And so we're passing that through. We actually do that through a formula that Public Works puts together that establishes how much does it cost for us to perform that service. Same for gas tap. Sorry, it just wouldn't fit on one slide, but that's again based off of the labor and material costs to provide that service. In terms of impact fees, we do have an adopted impact fee study, and we are proposing to go do an additional impact fee or update our impact fee study in this next fiscal year. That means in this 2022-2023 fiscal year, we're proposing to go to our maximum allowed under our current impact fee study. So with the anticipation that we're going to be completing a new study in 2022-2023. And I'm going to show you some data on the impact fees. So Tomball is that bold bar that you see there. Blue being your water impact fees, red being your wastewater impact fees, sort of where we are currently. I will note that these comparisons are provided for information only because remember, our fees are set by our impact fee study. So we can't adopt these based on where we are in the market. So this is just for information, but you'll see that that gold line that goes across really shows kind of where we are based on our comps. So with our adoption of the proposed impact fees, we really sort of stay right there in the middle. And that's on a 3/4 inch meter. So that's a typical residential installation. So about $6,000 per residential meter. This is a 3-inch meter, so moving up to our commercial size meter. Again, you'll see we kind of stay in the same place even by adopting our updated fees right around, I think we're right around 65 to 70,000 on our commercial side for each meter installed. In terms of utility rates, we are proposing a 6% increase in utility rates, both water and wastewater. There's a lot of numbers up on the screen. I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. And let me just jump to this of what does this mean to our average residential customer? So what you see on the sort of left-hand side where it says water 9,000 gallons, so our average residential customer currently pays their water bill and their wastewater bill. Right now, it's about $77 for their total monthly bill. With this increase, 6% rate increase, that would go to about $82 a month. And then on the right-hand side, you see for our average residential customer that also has irrigation, so about 12,000 gallons a month, you'll see it go from 106 to 112. I see that face, and I will say this does not include the North Harris County Regional Water Association fee, which is a pass-through charge.
But that is also determined based on usage, correct?
The-
So we are raising that impact fee from the North Harris County bill. We're not raising that because it's based on our usage, right?
It's based on consumer usage.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a consumer. And my bill that I get, we're raising the price on my water for the city. That also, in fact, raises the North Harris County portion of my bill too, doesn't it?
No,
No.
if you get charged 12 units times whatever the rate is.
Yeah.
For your North Harris County Regional Water Authority, you still get charged 12 times their fee.
It's by unit,
It's
not by
the
dollar.
usage,
Okay, it's by
not the dollar.
Okay, okay.
It's a straight.
I was
pass-through.
going to say, no, I'm not gonna go with that. That'll kill some people in our community.
It is a pass through, and we did make that a little bit more prominent in the actual fee schedule. It was sort of nestled in our fee structure, but to make that a little bit more prominent. And we do also notify customers of that on a pretty regular basis. And that's a summary of the major changes. You do have in your packets, I provided a summary cheat sheet. So any section that was kind of changed, so you didn't have to hunt for it in the 70-page book. There's a cheat sheet for you that compares the 2022 rate to the 2023 rate.
The reinspection fees, that's when they don't get something done, or because like if you put in the deal and you get 3 times out there, because y'all want it, you know, this, and this.
Yes. It's to bring them into compliant with any of our codes. So our building code, plumbing code, electrical code, or the adopted code, the international building code. For example, we would have send an inspector out. Their first inspection is included in the cost of their permit. The next time, if they don't comply with any of the
Okay,
comments.
but if you do comply, what I'm saying is, if you come out and you have to check the way the electricity's hooked in, then you have to come in back and check the way the propane's hooked in, or gas. Then the third time they come out and make sure that everything's covered up. That's not 3, that's 3 inspections.
That's not 3 separate inspections. No, if it's a progressive type of situation like that, that's not treated as separate inspections.
Then again, the intent here is what we're seeing is contractors are utilizing to get a punch list.
Yeah.
So they want to get away with as much as they can. And so they use the city inspectors to say, what is, give me the list and I'll just finish that. So they can condense their job schedule. Well, what we're trying to do is create the behavior, is get most of it done. They know the codes. And so we can go out there and do it one
That
time.
makes sense. Okay.
Any other question?
Thank you for your cheat sheets.
Yeah.
They came in handy.
Happy to provide them.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2022-41, approving the master fee schedule for fiscal year 22 to 23.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Our next item on the agenda is to approve the interlocal agreement between the city of Tomball and Tomball Independent School District, affording the Tomball Police the ability to provide police services on a contractual basis for specialized events occurring before, during, and after normal campus hours. Chief Burke.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is an interlocal agreement that is recycled every year. And this is for the 2022-23 school year. And the 3 main components of this memorandum are that basically telling the Tomball Police Department, if it goes into an agreement again with the schools, that we'll provide security and crowd management at the Tomball Event Center. We'll provide traffic duty for opening day of school and week, and then special jobs as needed, and then security at campus-based school events. Significant changes from last year really have to do with the regular full-time police officers' salaries. So the 2 changes are traffic now is $60 an hour rate, and if there's an event at the Tomball Stadium, the rate is at $42.50 an hour. Those are the changes, and that's the meat and potatoes of this.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposed amendments to the agreement.
Motion.
Second. I do have.
Discussion?
I do have a question for you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
At the high school, we have metal detectors. And I know last year, I believe the school district was not happy that our officers were doing their jobs properly, making people remove metal items from their person so they could walk through the metal detectors to make sure somebody wasn't coming in with nefarious items. Are we going to be running that metal detector again? And if so, do we have their approval to do what we need to do to make sure that stadium is the safest stadium in Texas?
Sir, they have approximately 7 metal detectors at the the entrance for the home team and 5 metal detectors at the entrance for the visiting team. Those metal detectors stay open the entire game, and they're staffed by until about late in the third quarter when no one is coming into the games anymore. They are staffed by ISD principals and staff, and each one has a police officer assigned to it. The police officer then stands by one of the administrators who holds a wand. So if somebody walks through and their belt buckle sets off the metal detector, a person, not a police officer, comes up and wands them, but a police officer standing by, and that's the structure we have. So just in a larger picture, I've added about 4 officers to every game and an incident command structure that has an incident command for the parking lot, the traffic, and the inside of the stadium on both sides. So we have that covered.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to approve proposed amendment to interlocal agreement with the city of Tomball and Tomball School District, affording the Tomball Police Department the ability to assign a total of 16 new student resource officers to TISD campuses by the end of the current academic year, 2022-23.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Chief Burt. Here, we just recently signed an interlocal agreement for school resource officers, a 3-year contract that the council assigned that provides 12 police officers this year. And then the following year, 13 police officers, and the final year, 24-25, 15 police officers. The school has, since the signing of that interlocal agreement, has reached out and asked if we could add an additional 4 officers, thereby speeding up the contract over the 3 years by providing 4 officers by the end of this school year, 22-23 school year. The contract that we had initially signed charges the school district. So we pay basically a 75%, 25% split between the officers, and this contract does that for 15 officers that would have been in all 3 years, and also asks to add an additional officer at the school compensating 100% of the salary and benefits of that officer. So those are the significant changes to that.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Next item is to approve the proposed tax rate of 0.287248 for every $100 for tax year 2022, and set the dates to vote on the proposed tax rate for October 3rd, 2022 and October 17th, 2022. Catherine?
Good evening again. We have received from the Harris County Appraisal District the certified appraisal roll, and we also have received from the tax office the finalized tax rate calculations. So staff is proposing that council approve the proposed tax rate of 0.287248, which is equivalent to the voter approval tax rate. The voter approval tax rate this year, you'll notice, is lower than the no new revenue rate. So we are generating less property tax revenue than prior year. And that's because of the debt service component. We made some adjustments to that component of the tax rate calculation. So that decreased, which had an overall decrease of approximately 4.5 cents of the tax rate compared to our current tax rate.
Okay.
Cool.
Entertain a motion to approve the tax rate.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? So our current tax rate that we're doing, it's usually 3.3 and it is 2.8. So we're about 4 cents below on taxes what we normally have done in the past.
Yes.
What we did last year. It's good news. Okay. Call for any discussion, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Next item is on the agenda to announce the city council will vote on this tax rate 22 on regular city council meetings on October 3rd and October 17th. Doris, is there anything else?
No action, just you are required by law to announce the dates for the tax vote and we will publish.
Right. Next item on the agenda is to approve the contract renewal for janitorial services for city facilities to ABM Texas General Services, Inc. for an annual contract amount of $89,307. Total contract amount $346,732. This amount is included in our 2022-23 budget. Megan?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Sorry, bear with me. This item is to approve the final contract renewal with ABM Texas General Services for the janitorial services for all city facilities. The original contract was approved in 2017 for 1 year with 5 additional 1-year renewals. This is the final contract renewal, which will total $89,307.31.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract renewal for ABM Texas General Services.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Questions? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, next item is to reject all bids received for request for proposal for electrical contracting services and rebid the project. Megan?
Yes, ma'am. We are requesting to reject the submissions that were received for the electrical contractor services. We did receive 3 submissions. However, when we began evaluating them, it was discovered that the scoring criteria was not included in the bid package. Therefore, we did not meet the relative scoring criteria as required for local government code.
Okay. Call for the motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Next item on the agenda is to adopt on first reading ordinance number 2022-32. Chief Burt.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Chief Burt, Tomball PD. Tonight in front of you, you have an ordinance that I'm asking you to review and adopt that has to do with tightening our ability to enforce current catalytic converter laws. Catalytic converters are a device that regulates emissions that sits under the vehicle, and they have very expensive precious metals in them, and they are relatively easy to steal. Just some statistics: the National Insurance Crime Bureau has reported the claims of catalytic converters that thus rose nationwide. From 2019, there were 3,389 to 2021, 52,000 in 2021. So that's I'm not very good at math, but it's about 48,000 more reports. So it's a very lucrative business, and it's very difficult to do anything with it. It takes about someone stealing a catalytic converter takes about 30 seconds to steal a catalytic converter. And I'm always smiling, sir, because you're looking at me with that face. Very common vehicles stolen. Catalytic converters are Toyota Sequoias, large Toyota SUV, and Toyota Tundras are the most common, and then the Toyota Prius, because all vehicles have 2 catalytic converters. Two of those vehicles are easy to climb under. So in the city of Tomball, in the first 8 months of 2022 alone, we've had 50 catalytic converter thefts. That's compared to last year, 58 total. What I'm proposing is something that I've already seen the city of Houston do. I've seen, Jersey Village. Thank you. I forgot the name. Jersey Village has done it, and a few others have adopted ordinances that toughen and allow law enforcement gives law enforcement a little more teeth. So essentially, what we're trying to do is forbid the sale or transfer of a catalytic converter unless the person who's selling or transferring the catalytic converter has the name and address and phone number of the person purchasing, the name and address of the buyer, the year, make, model, and VIN number of the vehicle we're taking it from, and a copy of the certificate or title documenting the person selling or transferring the catalytic converter has an ownership interest in the vehicle from which the catalytic converter was removed. Then also that person who is in possession of a catalytic converter needs to take a photograph of it, all sides of it with a serial number, and send that into the police department. We have created a JOT form, a very simple form that's downloadable on the city webpage where they can upload and say, hey, if somebody's legitimately taking a catalytic converter, they can show us this and have it. So and then it shall be unlawful for any person, any individual to possess a catalytic converter that was cut from its original vehicle rather than unbolted, unless they have all that paperwork. So I'll give you this scenario. You're driving down the street as a police officer and you pull somebody over on suspicion of they're speeding or they've got a tail light out, and you find 2 cut catalytic converters in the back seat. Heretofore, that might be enough to start an investigation, but if we can't link it up to an owner, we don't have anything. We don't really have anything really actionable. And this has happened 3 times this year where officers have gone on traffic stops and really have been unable to progress digging deeper because we don't have a victim of a crime. This makes it a penalty that we could get every person who has a catalytic converter that's cut in the back of their car and they don't have that, we can charge them $500 per catalytic converter. And that's really what the city ordinance is doing. And I think it's a step in the right direction. And I am hopeful that in this legislative session, I'm hopeful in this legislative session that other police officers and lawmakers speak out and look forward to tightening the restrictions on catalytic converters, because it is absolutely decimating our crime numbers. About 22% of our crimes in the city of Tomball, Part 1 crimes this year, are just thefts of catalytic converters. So
I want to up it to $4,000 per unit they have.
yes, sir. The ordinance allows us 500 as a max. So
$4,000 a pop.
Okay, thank you.
90 days.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to read by caption only on first reading, ordinance number 2022-32.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, call for the vote.
I got a question before we do.
Not yet. This is Doris's
This is
reading.
just on first reading. We can't
We have to
discuss
vote.
the first reading part.
Okay, call for the vote. This is for reading only.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay.
Ordinance number 2022-32, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Tomball, Texas, amending Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Tomball offenses by adding a new Article 3, catalytic converters, containing findings and other provisions relating to the subject, declaring certain conduct to be unlawful, providing a penalty in an amount not to exceed $500 for each violation of this ordinance, providing for severability, providing for publication, and providing an effective date.
Okay. Thank you. Next item. Now it's a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-32.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Thank you. All I want to know is if a scrapyard has 10 of these laying out there, do they have to have 10 paperwork for them?
If the scrapyard is in our area, yes, we can require it.
Okay,
Yep.
that's all I was wanting to know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Next item, consideration to approve zoning case 2022-26, request from Maple Group, presented by Cross Engineering to amend chapter 50 of the zoning ordinance. Nathan?
Yes, Mayor Council, Nathan Dietrich, the Community Development. I wanted to present this case. This case was tabled by request of the applicant a number of meetings ago, and we're bringing it forth to you for consideration tonight. As you can see, the location is at the corner, the northeastern corner of Holderreath and 249. It's approximately 26 acres where the new Costco is being proposed to be built. Subject property, as you can see from these photos and some additional photos, that is currently vacant. There's not much out there, just grass. It's all right. And then here's some what the neighboring properties are to the southwest, to the northwest. There is some mostly retail and a small residential neighbor to the east. So currently the zoning map, or what is currently zoned as PD8, which was a plan development that was approved back in 2015, I believe, and it was to build a multifamily complex in the rear of this particular piece of property, and then also have commercial surrounding it on the front side. So they're requesting to remove the plan development and change it back to what the original zoning district was, which was commercial. As you can see, the future land use plan is corridor commercial, which does it does warrant this request to become commercial. The public notification was 200 feet in this particular case is when we sent out the notification, and as you can see, we've notated where folks that were in favor for it and then folks that were opposed. The current owner of the property is in favor of this request at this particular time.
I wonder why.
So city staff, it does recommend, due to the fact that it is in line with the future land use plan and it does meet all other ordinance requirements, we do recommend approval. And I apologize, I didn't get this in there, but planning and zoning also was unanimous in this particular case and also recommends approval at this particular time. Be happy to answer any other questions that you have.
Thank you. We'll do that during the discussion. Right now, I'll entertain a motion to read by caption only on first reading ordinance number 2022-20.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously. Ordinance number 2022-20, an ordinance of the city of Tomball, Texas, amending chapter 50 zoning of the Tomball Code of Ordinances by changing the zoning district classification of approximately 25.87 acres of land, being all of Reserve A and Maple Group subdivision, from the Planned Development District number 8, PD8, to the Commercial C District, being generally located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Holderreath Road and State Highway 249 frontage road, providing for a penalty of an amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation of any provision hereof, making findings of fact and providing for other related matters.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-20 on first reading.
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
Yes, ma'am, if you can go back to your map where you have what's commercial and yeah, I'm concerned about the slice of the yellow that was at the top. That is
Sorry,
residential
trying to get
now. Look right there.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to be turning that area into commercial as well that's in the yellow inside their property?
So this is the zoning map. This is currently what the zoning is, right? So
Right.
what the color of the plan development is the blue.
Right.
This is the future land use plan. So the future land use plan up in that corner would have supported single family residential. So in this particular case, to the north of this property is where the new Woodleaf Reserve subdivision will be built. And because this future land use plan does not delineate the exact location of where it has to occur, where zoning has to occur, the large majority of the property will be within and will be supported by a commercial corridor.
So the reason I'm asking that is whatever they purchase will be commercial, correct? And we will have it zoned to commercial. I
Everything-
don't want them purchasing a piece of property and having the northern eighth of that property be residential.
No,
I
sir.
want it to be commercial.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as long as we have that. It's fine.
Our goal will not to be to split zone properties at all when they come before you.
Nathan, I have a question. Can you go back to that map, please? Can you go back to the one prior to that?
Yes, sir.
Right now, you're saying all that is light blue is planned development.
That is
Even the
correct.
area that's not the property in question, but right at the intersection of Holder Reef and 249, is that correct?
That is correct. Because the other area for Woodleaf development is also a planned development, sir. So the area that is adjacent to them is a different planned development called, it's off the top of my head, I don't remember the number, but Woodleaf is another planned development that was approved.
No,
by-
no, no. I'm talking right at the intersection.
Bottom.
See where that carved out, where the two
Oh,
buildings are
yes, sir.
located?
So when we discussed this previously is that because that was part of the agreement that was developed for the plan development, and the owner, the person that is applying for this today, which is through Costco or Maple Group, they did not include that owner. The owner was not interested in being a part of that at that particular time. And because they were associated with the original development or the plan development, when discussed with Lauren, because that was part of the plan development can no longer exist without the other adjacent party. And when we eventually did talk to the owner of that property, he's in agreement that he would like to change that to change it back to commercial, and by default, it will move back to commercial.
Right, Lauren, I guess my question is for you.
Yeah.
We cannot keep that section there as planned development and then change the rest of it to commercial.
No, because the plan development was contingent upon the entire tract. It was, if you look at the plan for the plan development, it needed the entire tract for the plan development. And without it, it won't support it.
So even the portion of property that is not in the hash lines, if you will, but is still in light blue at the top and to the right of said property for Costco, that is going to go back to commercial, or is that going back to residential? What does that go back to?
So the area outside on the north, I guess it would be the northeast and directly north of this hatched area, is a different plan development. So it has nothing to do with this particular one. Why it looks so similar is because the color for plan development happens to be
Okay,
blue.
okay, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Better green.
Nathan, just for my own information, are we notified within 200 feet?
On this particular one, because
Okay,
it
because
did not
It was
adopt it.
before we changed to
Yes, ma'am.
300 feet.
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Next item, consideration to approve case 2022-270. A request by the city of Tomball to amend section 40-74 lots and 40-75 minimum lot sizes of the Tomball Code of Ordinance. Nathan.
Mayor Council, Nathan Dietrich, Community Development. At this particular time, staff would like to request that this particular item and the following item be tabled for now. Staff received some questions and some concerns with these particular items, and we feel that at this particular time, there was enough, there were a number of questions that we could respond directly to and have a reasoning for, but I think there is an opportunity here to help or bring the person that had these concerns in and discuss it further and bring you back these particular items at a future date. The reason why we're asking for it is because there is no urgency with these particular items. There's no reason why these need to move forward. This was staff initiated text amendments. And so we just want to make sure that the proposed text amendments, what staff is trying to create is more flexibility and more ease for the people that are using our ordinances. And so we just want to make sure that we're bringing the best amendment that we can to you forward.
And rather than table, I would recommend take no action just in case that there's a change to what may be brought forward.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so on items 13 and items 14 of the agenda, we will take no action and move on to items 15. Do we need a vote on that?
Nope.
Okay. So we are on items 15 now. So it's only 7 more. Do we need to take a stretch break? No, okay.
Keep going.
All right, we'll keep it going. If y'all want to stand up and stretch, that's perfectly fine. Walk around. Item number 15. I will entertain a motion to adopt on first reading ordinance number 2022.
Caption
Yes, caption only.
Okay.
No,
No.
yeah. This is caption only. You're right. It's caption only because it's back.
It's back. Okay. I will entertain a motion to read on by caption only on first reading ordinance number 2022-27.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote?
No.
Oh, discussion.
No discussion on, no
Okay.
discussion on,
Okay.
no discussion on
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
That's a rookie.
We're just
mistake.
reading.
Yeah, well, I'm following
Call for
the
the
best.
vote. I don't think we've ever had a reading fail, have we? We may have.
Well,
there's the first time for everything.
My question was really relevant to the reading of it, but I'll catch it on the backside.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Now I will
Ordinance number 2022-27, an ordinance of the City Council of Tomball, Texas, approving the service and assessment plan for the City of Tomball Public Improvement District number 13, PD 13, Pine Trails subdivision.
Okay. Now I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-27 on first reading.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
discussion. Councilman Ford.
Okay, so this is just I don't even know what kind of question it is, but so this originally came up in August we had a public hearing on it and it was approved.
It was approved on first reading.
You're right. And, so why is it listed as a first reading?
Because it failed on its second reading, which means it failed and it's coming back. as a
Okay,
first
so if
reading.
it's first reading, we don't need to have another public hearing.
We had a public hearing on it. It close enough time that.
Okay,
we don't have to do
okay.
it.
So that's the way that works.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to know.
Do we have any other discussion or questions on this? Okay, let's call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is to adopt on first reading, item number 2022-28.
Caption only.
So move caption only.
Well, Megan, okay, we'll do the reading, then you get to talk. I will entertain a motion to read by caption only on first reading.
Motion.
Ordinance number 2022-28 for a second. Call for the vote.
This says levy the assessment PID 13. It doesn't say reading of it. It says approving. Ordinance 2023 Pine Trails levy assessment PID 13.
Right, on first reading.
Your first
Motion, right.
reading, the first 4 words adopt.
Okay. I'm not trying to fight it. I just want to make sure we're doing it right, folks.
This is
That was
just
my
to read the
question.
caption.
Okay.
Motion
Megan.
carries unanimously. Ordinance number 2022-28, an ordinance of the City Council of Tomball, Texas, levying the assessment against properties within the City of Tomball Public Improvement District 13, PID 13, Pine Trails subdivision.
Okay. Megan.
No, we need a motion second.
Okay, motion to
Motion. Second,
adopt a motion of 2022-28 on first reading.
Randy was first and I seconded the motion.
Okay, Randy was first. Congratulations.
Yeah, he slid it in.
First, second. Okay. Discussion.
Ordinance 2022-28 will levy the assessment for Pine Trails PID number 13 based on the service and assessment plan from ordinance number 2022-27.
Right.
Before I vote on this, they agreed to put in a park, correct? Even though they didn't have to, but they did agree to put in a park.
They are going to amenitize their open space. It will not be a full park. It will have a water feature, and it will also have adult amenities such as cornhole, different things like that, a covered pavilion.
Okay, but there's going to be something added.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion?
Mhm.
Call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Next item is 2022-28, and I will entertain a motion to read by caption only on first reading ordinance 2022. Sorry, we just did 17.
Everybody's getting
Public
tired.
hearing,
Everybody's getting
Public hearing.
17.
17, conduct a public hearing in the city council.
That's what
Next
we
on
did.
the agenda is conduct a public hearing for proposed levy of assessments for authorized improvements within improvement area 2 Rayburn Reserve in the city of Tomball, Public Improvement District number 10, established by City Council Resolution 2019-41. It is now 8:45 p.m. and we are opening the public hearing. Doris, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
I have no one signed up to speak.
Is there anyone who did not sign up that wants to speak? Okay. It is now 8:46 p.m. and we are closing the public hearing. Next item on the agenda is to adopt on first reading ordinance number 20. Oh, read by caption only?
By caption only.
Okay. Have a-
Where
To
are we
read by
at?
caption only,
18.
number ordinance 2022-33. Do I have a motion?
Public hearing.
Motion. First,
Motion.
second,
Second.
call for the vote. Or to read only.
Motion carries unanimously. Ordinance number 2022-33, an ordinance of the city of Tomball, Texas, approving a service and assessment plan and assessment role for authorized improvements for the Rayburn Reserve Public Improvement District, the district, making a finding of special benefit to certain property in the district, levying assessments against certain property within the district, and establishing a lien on such property, providing for payment of the assessment in accordance with Chapter 372, Texas Local Government Code as amended, providing for the method of assessment and the payment of the assessments, providing penalties and interest on delinquent assessments, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay. Thank you. Next item on the agenda to adopt on first reading ordinance number 2022-33. Megan?
Hearing Council, ordinance number 2022-33 will approve the service assessment plan and assessment role for the authorized improvements for Public Improvement District 10, Rayburn Reserve. This will be for Improvement Area 1 and Improvement Area 2, as this is a Series A and B bond.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-33 on first reading.
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay.
Next item, I'll entertain a motion to read by caption only on first. Oh, we just did that one. Okay, we're on 19. Next item is to approve resolution number 2022-44, resolution approving the distribution of a preliminary limited offering memorandum for its special assessment revenue bond series 2022. Megan?
This resolution 2022-44 will approve the distribution of the preliminary limited offering memorandum for Improvement Area 1, which will be the Series A bond.
I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2022-44.
Motion. Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay.
Next item on the agenda is to adopt resolution number 2245. The resolution approving the distribution of preliminary limited offering memorandum for special assessment revenue bonds, series 2022. Megan?
Hearing Council Resolution 2022-45 will be the preliminary limited offering memorandum for Rayburn Reserve Public Improvement District 10, Improvement Area 2, and this will be for their Series A bond.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution 22-245. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote. I see faces up here. Is there something I need to see? Okay.
Motion carries, 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay.
The next item is 21. Next item on the agenda is to adopt on first reading and reading only ordinance number 2022-34.
Caption only.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-34 will be a first and only reading approving and authorizing the issuance and the sale for the City of Tomball's special assessment revenue bonds for Woodleaf Reserve, as well as the Indenture Trust and the agreements connected with the sale. The bond sale did occur this morning. A total sale was $4,406,000 with an interest rate of 6.11%. And the assessment will stay at the approved tax rate equivalent of 90 cents.
I'll entertain a motion to read by caption only on first reading. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay. Ordinance number 2022-34, an ordinance approving and authorizing the issuance and sale of the City of Tomball Special Assessment Revenue Bonds, Woodleaf Reserve Public Improvement District Improvement Area Number 1, approving and authorizing an indenture of trust and first other agreements and documents in connection with therewith, making findings to the issuance of such bonds and providing an effective date with respect to the issuance of such bonds.
I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-34 on first reading.
Motion.
Yes. Okay, first
Motion.
and only reading. Have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
You made the motion.
Time for it.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 4 votes aye, 1 vote nay.
Next, item number 22 on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding amendments to administrative policy number 18, development policy for special financing districts.
All right, good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm going to do my best Megan impression for you tonight. We're going to give her voice a rest. But I'm going to walk you through some proposed improvements that we have to our public improvement district policy. Staff is bringing these forward based on conversations and discussions that we've had with council over the past few months. If you'll remember, we adopted this comprehensive policy, I think, back in March. So we're really building off what we have in that policy. Oh, look, she prepared it on a slide right there. So when we adopted this policy back in March, our focus was on providing a clear process and parameters to staff for what types of public improvement districts to bring forward and what requirements we would be placing on developers in terms of both the city process and our expectations for the development. It does fall in line with Chapter 372, which is the section of the local government code that allows us to adopt PIDs, to create PIDs within the city of Tomball. And then lastly, what we want to do within our policy is really maintain that flexibility to consider what would be unique and desirable elements within a development. We can write a great policy, but developers are very creative and innovative. So we want to make sure that we give ourselves flexibility to consider something that might fit in Tomball. So the changes that staff is proposing this evening is first within section 2 of the policy, which are the PID considerations. I'm going to jump ahead because I'm not. Okay, yeah, I'm going to cover those in a little bit. Second is a requirement to demonstrate compliance with those criteria. We really wanted to make that clear within the policy, and I'll hit on that in the next section. And then considering adjustments to the maximum assessment and the term of PIDs in 15 and 30 years. So in section 2, we are proposing to clarify under our considerations that an applicant must meet 50% of the criteria listed. We have 10 specific criteria outlined in section 2 that run everything from it could be demonstrating an economic benefit to the city. It could be making improvements in the public right of way. It could be helping the city achieve the goals of one of our master plans and any one of those criteria, but a development would have to meet 50% of those criteria to come forward to city council. We've also added a section to the application where we make it very clear that the applicant has to provide documentation that demonstrates compliance with those criteria. So you can't just say, yes, I'm doing it. You actually have to prove it. We also added language to certain subsections. So the first one would be under subsection A. I did something. Oh, okay. That a PID must demonstrate that it's going to be self-sufficient and not adversely impact the ordinary service delivery of the city. Simply means that creation of a PID shouldn't burden any of the taxpayers within the city. Subsection I, where we have the ability to define those amenities that we want to see inside of a development. So Previously, the clause just said provide for unique or special development amenities. What we've added is what we've heard from councils that you'd like to see things that are over and above, maybe in a park development or something like that, amenity centers, play areas, pools, picnic facilities, and certainly that can be, argued and defined kind of as we go through the PID process. In section 13, we have the maximum assessment terms. Currently, we have a maximum tax rate equivalent of 96 cents per $100 value and a max assessed term of 30 years. What staff is proposing is keeping the 96-cent assessment, but limiting those to only 15-year terms. And then if a development was a 30-year PID, that assessment would be halved. So you could only have an assessment of 48, a tax rate equivalent of 48 cents per $100 of assessed value. And this is the improvement to the application. As I was saying, we added this page that you see there in blue, which basically says you need to tell us which of the 10 criteria that you're meeting. You have to meet 5 of them, and then provide a detailed justification and documentation for how you meet those criteria. And then this was something that we showed you last time when we were going through talking about what that tax rate equivalent means to the homeowner. So if you'll see there, that's a 2021 tax rate and tax assessment bill for a home that would be within the Rayburn Reserve. So there's that 96-cent cap. So that tax bill on a $300,000 valued home would be just under $10,000. If they were in the cap of the 48 cents, it would drop to about $8,555. Just to kind of give you numbers to put what does that halving of the tax rate or tax equivalent assessment mean to the homeowner. And I think that's it. I'm happy to go over any of these in more detail.
I'll entertain a motion. No, we don't do it much. This is discussion only. Any discussions?
It does include possible actions. So
Okay.
if council desires to take action tonight, they do have that capability.
So do we have discussion now or wait until after the motions?
Make a motion first. Make a motion first.
Okay. All right.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm curious.
We have to vote on.
Do we have to vote first?
No,
Okay.
no, this is discussion item.
I'm curious, a developer comes in and presents his grandiose plan and shows some really nice amenities. About 2/3 of the way through the development, inspector goes out there and there's building lots where the amenities are supposed to be. What is our recourse?
We have a development agreement that we can enforce to keep that from happening.
Okay.
Jessica, do you have a question on subset I? Adding those 4 items, maybe it's for you, Lauren, is the wording that they have to use one of those? It looks, if you would turn to subsection I.
Okay.
Yeah, provide for unique and special development amenities, including amenity centers, play areas, pools, and picnic facilities. If it's an over 55, they don't need a play area. Are those 4 ones they have to include, or is that possible? Do we need to change that wording where it doesn't look like they have to include those 4?
You're probably correct. The technical language we'd be looking for there is including but not limited to.
Right. So if you
Right.
could add that to that,
Mhm.
because that would make a lot of, it's per development.
Yes.
And
For example. Or something.
Yeah, for example.
For example.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
okay. Do we need any more discussion on, these are changes to the PID agreements and the policies. Is this enough discussions?
Are we saying, as we currently stand right now, that subsection A generate economic and superior development benefits to the city beyond what is normal development would generate. Are we saying that it's okay for them to be not self-sufficient or to adversely affect? Why aren't we putting that in? I mean, that would be common sense to me to say that. Why are we saying that? I mean, they shouldn't be adversely affecting anything with a pit.
I think the point with that language is that the developer has to demonstrate that we are putting it on the developer, that they must demonstrate that they are self-sufficient and not adversely impacting any
So
service
where do we
delivery to the
say,
city.
just demonstrate? Where do we say the word?
So that's in the section above it, where in the section 2 considerations that the applicant must demonstrate compliance with 50%. So if an applicant wanted to say, I'm in compliance with subsection A, I generate an economic and superior development benefit to the city, they would also have to demonstrate that they're self-sufficient and not going to adversely impact any other city operation through their development.
Such as?
Sewage?
Such as, right, if they were creating a traffic issue or impact to public safety, that they're going to have to demonstrate that they're not creating an adverse impact that would impact maybe their neighbor. That would be the goal there.
I don't know if this is, I mean, I can't vote on this tonight because I don't know that we have enough information to vote on this.
Right, I think we need to take no action on this for discussion only, and maybe bring it back as a workshop item or a special meeting before city council. Or would you like to see it in city council as a long discussion?
Like more information.
Okay, so we're going to take no action on this. There's too many questions that I think we all have exactly what we're saying with
Can
this
you
wording.
send us a copy of that presentation that you did? though?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I would like to get a copy of that.
Right.
And just for clarification, the tax example that you gave, that tax number, was that the PID number or the total tax?
That was the total tax bill.
I think that's some.
When you say like playground, are we gonna be able to tell them what kind of playground? Because if you just do a green grassy area out there, that's a playground.
Exactly.
So
Will
what
that
I
be able
would
to be
encourage,
defined later?
it could be defined within the scope of the development agreement. What we wouldn't want to do is draft a policy statement that was so specific that says it has to be.
Okay,
that,
no. He answered my question here too. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I think it's okay to bring this back maybe an hour before the October 15th meeting.
As long as we don't
16th.
have 1,097 pages
Right.
to review and go over for a meeting, I'm fine with that.
Hey.
But 1,094 pages is a wee bit too much.
And a Boy Scout pizza party.
Beforehand.
Welcome to my world. So.
I'm not an attorney, you're not paying me enough.
So we're going to table this, and can we bring it back on the second city council meeting and a special meeting and take no action on it?
Yes.
Okay. And however you can make it easier for Councilman Townsend not to read a lot of pages.
Well, I'm kind of like our city manager. I don't like to read unless I absolutely have to.
All right, I would like a motion to adjourn. Matt,
Second.
do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. We are adjourned.